Welcome down on the field here at High Point Solution Stadium, where Michigan State has just defeated the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 31-24. And Garrett Stepien, our sports editor for the Daily Targum, I'm still in shock as to what just happened here. What happened on that last play?
We honestly don't know what happened on that last play. Going into that drive, a lot of courage for Laviano, getting that ball downfield, getting them into the latter half into Michigan State territory. Took that big sack, started scrambling around, didn't have any timeouts left, wasn't aware of the situation. That came back to bite them, spiked it on fourth down. The most Rutgers way you could possibly lose a game, but it also comes back to the idea of what was going on the sideline with that coaching staff. Did Norris Wilson and Ben McDaniels talk it over with Chris Laviano and work out a scenario where that would happen, where they wouldn't have any timeouts and they would need to either spike the ball or go for a Hail Mary? We don't know that right now. We'll find that out at the press conference and feed them a couple questions on that, but really don't know what went wrong there.
And is it possible that maybe the headset was not activated because it all happened so fast? So it's possible that Laviano didn't get any call from the sideline and he just assumed, I'm going to spike this football, not really realizing it was fourth down. But unfortunately, it brings about the end of the Knights' day, and their upset bid is retracted after number 4 Michigan State had just scored a touchdown to make it 31-24. Garrett, again, a lot of shock here on the field. And what's most surprising is that Rutgers did almost everything they needed to do today. Yes, Connor Cook had a terrific game. I think 357 yards, a couple touchdowns, did have that one interception. But they held the running game in check for the most part, except for when it got in the red zone. What did you see in the run game for both teams?
Well, up until that final drive, really, in the fourth quarter, Rutgers held Michigan State's running game in check, with Madre London. LJ Scott, he had 9 carries for 42 yards and those 2 touchdowns late, but he really didn't get going until late, the Big Ten Freshman Player of the Week from last week. And, Rutgers Rutgers was able to get the running game going late in the second half as well, with Robert Martin coming alive on that, the touchdown drive to get it to 24 points and, kind of tie up the game. But what really went wrong for Rutgers on that last drive defensively, Connor Cook really didn't have to do much. If you remember, he had the one pass to R.J. Shelton to get the ball downfield. After that, it was the L.J. Scott show. And L.J. Scott pretty much ran down the clock, milked the time. And by the time Rutgers had a chance to get the ball back, less than a minute left, 1 timeout, not much to work with there, especially when you have a guy, not to say a guy like Chris Laviano, but a guy who's kind of more of a game manager, relies on that running game. And, the circumstance really came back to hurt Rutgers when it mattered most.
And that's what's so shocking. Laviano plays almost a completely clean game. He goes 15-24, 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, all the positive momentum you could ask for, and then it ends with a thud. But guess who's back? Leonte Carroo looked pretty good tonight, didn't he, Garrett?
Yeah, he did. We looked through, he averaged 19.1 yards per reception on the night, 3 touchdowns. Flying up the record book still. He's the all-time leader in career touchdowns, but definitely left his mark tonight. Anytime Laviano had a chance to get the ball to him, he found a way to make it happen in space. You talk about the 39-yard streak down the sidelines, Laviano having the confidence to throw it up and Carroo to come down and get it. You talk about Laviano rolling out to his left, throwing off his right back foot, or for the 28-yard touchdown pass to Carroo in the corner of the end zone, and then the third subsequent touchdown that happened later in the second half. But Carroo was all over the place tonight, and you think about it, a guy that hasn't played since September 12th, that's a good sign of things to come for Rutgers. You kind of, so if you want to take any moral victories from this game, number 4 team in the country, but you got your Leonte Carroo back, a big weapon in the offense, an offense that had pretty much played conservative up until this point in the season. Leonte Carroo really showed that ability to stretch the field with Chris Laviano, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign of things to come for Rutgers.
Yeah, definitely some positives with Carroo back on the field, and really the offense moved the ball. The running game got going late, but ultimately they really moved the ball. But if you were to talk to any of the guys in the locker room right now, I don't think they're into moral victories. This one's going to sting for a little while. They had it this close with the number 4 team in the country, Michigan State, and they let it fall through their fingertips. So for Garrett Stepien, I'm Xavier for the Daily Targum from High Point Solution Stadium. Have a nice evening.